Hey friends, what's up? My name is Jeff Heath. I'm a photographer and filmmaker from Vancouver Island, BC, Canada, and today I wanted to start a new series on my channel called The Story Behind the Photo. So a few years ago when I moved to Vancouver Island, one of the first things I fell in love with here was the sheer amount of nature, beauty, wildlife that was literally 5 minutes out my door. Where I have seen right from the seawall, I've seen orcas, I've seen humpback whales, there's always a seal or a sea lion, there's otters hanging around, there's tons of birds and eagles and all those kinds of things. It's truly a wildlife paradise up here. So one day I'm sitting at home, scrolling on my phone, and I get a text message from one of my friends who works on a kelp boat, and she texts me a picture of a wolf. And you might say, a wolf, that's cool, but you know, there's wolves everywhere. Here in coastal regions, we have a very unique subspecies of wolf called a sea wolf. If you watch the documentary on Netflix, it's a great insight and view into what sea wolves are and why they are so special. So she messaged me and said, we saw a pack of sea wolves in this certain area. So naturally, I freaked out. And the fun thing was, I got a message from my friend saying that his friend was from down island coming up and they were gonna go out in the morning. My one friend unfortunately bailed, but then I got to meet a new friend. His name was Mike. So Mike and I met up at this spot where we were gonna hike in. It's about a 45-minute to an hour hike into this location where the wolves were supposedly seen. So we come out of the bushes where this clearing happens, and we didn't even have any of our camera gear out. It was still in our backpacks because we were just trekking in. And no joke, 100 yards from us, there are two wolves standing on the beach, perched up on this log. We're freaking out because we have nothing ready. So we quickly throw our bags down on the ground as quick as we can, and we throw on the lens, and I think we both got one shot of this one wolf hanging out on this log. And then the wolves decided that's enough of that, and they disappeared into the forest. So the thing you have to understand about sea wolves is that they are shy and elusive wolves here on the West Coast. They survive by being cautious. They survive by making sure that they stick together. And so when two humans show up where they were hunting for salmon, they quickly retreated into the forest, and we thought that was it. That was our one shot. I got this grainy ass photo of this wolf standing on a log. Pretty cool, but not exactly what we were going for and what we were expecting from this encounter. So this spot we came to happened to be on a river where the salmon run was happening, and it's known for a big bear population that comes down to eat salmon on this river because they come up during a low tide, and the bears just kind of have a feast on this river as the salmon come up to spawn. So Mike and I decided, you know, let's not waste the day. Let's see if some bears come out, and we'll get some shots of bears as they are fishing on this river. The wolves are gone, but at least we can get some bear shots, maybe some eagles, those kinds of things. So we hunkered down and we waited. Then within a half hour of us waiting, we saw a mom and cub come out, and they were doing a little fishing on the side of the river. This big fog bank had rolled in, so it was super foggy, kind of moody morning. So we got some shots of this mama and this cub, and they were kind of doing their own thing. Boar came out and did a little fishing. We got some shots of him doing his thing. And then about a half hour after that, Mike kind of nudges me, and then we look towards the forest, and all of a sudden this single lone wolf comes out of the forest. And the crazy part is, I'm not sure if the bears were downwind from this wolf. Maybe he didn't see it, maybe he did see it and didn't care, but this wolf just started walking out towards this mama and her cub down the beach, down the river, not a care in the world. It was kind of sniffing, looking for fish. It looked like this wolf did not notice that this mom and cub were there until it did. So the wolf kind of came over these rocks, and then it kind of perched up onto these rocks, and you could see the bear and its cub. And this is where this shot happened. Was the cub was ahead of the mom, and the cub kind of perched itself up on this rock with the wolf in the background, and I got a few snaps away of this foreground of this baby cub with the wolf in the background and some ravens and flying in the background. It was just but in the moment you had no idea what was happening. I was just what is going on right now? I was click, 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 click the whole time. Then all of a sudden the cub decides it's going to charge this wolf. So you see the it all happened so fast. I barely got a shot of it. The cub runs after the wolf, and all of a sudden mom's like, oh, this is happening. The mom charges in. You can actually see, you can't see it in the footage, the cub actually got a nip at the corner of the heel of the wolf, and the wolf started to run away. Mom came, then the mom ended up treeing the cub, which means it chased its cub up the tree and then started walking around the tree, making sure the wolf couldn't get to the cub. But it was just like this wild sequence that all happened within like 5-10 minutes, where all of a sudden the wolf came out, the mom and cub were there, they noticed each other, they chased each other off, and all of a sudden it was just like, and then it all happened so quick, and then the bear and the cub ended up going back into the forest, the wolf ended up going back into the forest, and then me and Mike were just kind of sitting there stunned at this moment, like, did that just happen? Did we just see what we think we saw? Our minds were absolutely blown. It was truly remarkable. So after our nerves calmed down, we waited a little bit, we shot a few more bears that ended up coming out. And then just as we were about to leave, another wolf came out further up the river and started to do a little fishing of its own, and we got some shots of this wolf actually catching a salmon and then taking it off into the forest to eat its dinner. So it was one of the most incredible experiences I've gotten to be a part of and witness. It's one of those cool things that happens where you're just like in the right place at the right time, where this incredible thing happened. I posted this shot on my Instagram and it quickly got picked up by the news. So locally on Vancouver Island, I did a couple interviews for TV and for the paper. And then I got a random call from one of the biggest newspapers nationally in Canada called the Globe and Mail, where I did an interview with Justine, who works for the Globe and Mail, as one of the reporters, and she did a lovely article about the experience, and I actually got published in the Globe and Mail for my photo and the experience, which was super fun. So Justine, thank you for that as well. So super pumped to have that experience, super pumped to share that with other people, and it really made me fall in love with those moments where you just have to put in the time and put yourself out there, and sometimes amazing things happen. So that is the story of the wolf and the bear cub. I hope you enjoyed hearing that story, and I hope to do some more of these stories of the story behind the photo. I need to have a cool little jingle. The story behind the photo. I'm sorry for that.